Nice, eh? You can buy it on the online shop. Anyhow, hello, hello, back again. You can see this? Oh, no, it's okay. I have a lot of things running at the same time, and you were probably wondering why he doesn't make all his great videos and things like this. And we're actually doing a lot of videos, and in a certain moment then I will tell you what I did, and some of you might be interested. A little percentage, but the ones who are interested will be very interested. Anyhow, I will let you know once I am on a good point, okay? While I'm working here on 3 instruments. Every one is a little bit different. One I started already last year, and it takes a lot of preparation. It is another very, very, very secret violin, and I will tell you later on, but very interesting. One is a violin which I make for a customer of mine who is probably one of the ones who really understood already a lot from Edgar years ago, and he keeps on buying violins from Edgar. He has a good collection, and now he said, Edgar, I want another violin, not a Stradivari, not a Guarneri, I want the Edgar violin. So then I said, hey Charlie, I will make it. And even for that you have to take time, and you have to sit down, and you have to reflect, what do you actually like? And how should the violin look like for me now after over 30 years of violin making, always making a copy of a Stradivari and the Guarneri, and how should the scroll look like, and also this and that. Interesting project, very interesting, and so I'm working also on that one. And then another customer who wants a decorated Strat, the Hellier, and I'm working also on that one. And so now I just finished here making the purfling on all these instruments. And while I was doing it, I was thinking, hey man, this is actually something which not too often people explained you that way. And now another video about Stradivari Guarneri, but even in violin making school and afterwards there was no violin maker who explained me the real difference of a Stradivari and a Guarneri corner, okay? Now, I explained it for that video with her where Anna was watching behind the camera and was saying, oh my god, this is really interesting. Later on she said, Dad, you have to make a video about that. Okay, so do you really think so? Okay, so today we talk about that. So now let's see. It's all about the corners, right? And the purfling and what it is used for, we don't leave now here. This is not about. It's all about this purfling, this tiny line of material, which when it is bent is like this, okay? And it is inserted into the wood and is amplifying the line outside, okay? So if you look at the same shape here like this, then it's just a violin, and you hardly can see the shape, right? And if you turn it like this, it's like women when they get the eyebrows retouched, you know, they just make this, okay? And that's the purfling beside the real reason they put it, because spruce so thin would break very quick. So it's a reinforcement, of course, but it's also a little bit giving this amplified lines. Beside that, Guarneri and Stradivari are two very different makers, and that one loved more the vino, and the other one was a very sparkling water drinking and to maintain his career for many years, and we're all very grateful that he did it that way. Antonio, they made also the outline very different. Now, we exclude now how different the outline is, but we focus on the purfling. So if we design now a corner, let's make it, this is now our outline, okay? And this here is the C, okay? A little short, but it's okay. Let's make it better, come on. Oh, we'll make it longer. We'll make it a little bit longer, come on. Okay, better. Now, let's say this is a Stradivari or a Guarneri corner. When you put in this purfling, you use a purfling cutter, which is not here. Okay. We have this tiny tool here, which has a certain distance from the edge with two knives inside. And I really showed off here in front of Anna, in front of the camera, to show how I put this purfling in. And it actually goes pretty quick, and if you know how to do it, but this is another thing. So you put this along this edge, and you sign this purfling with 4 millimeters of distance, right? It's not so easy to design on a board like this, but anyhow. Now, Guarneri made a very interesting thing. He just signed this line and this line, the lines which reach to each other, and then he made it a little bit longer here in the front. Yeah? So he reached out to have a purfling which is somehow something like this in here, and then this last end here he just made a little bit longer. So this was his corner. Okay? Now, very often you see that people exaggerate with this one. Even this one might be already too long. Something like this, okay? Now, all these bumps, you don't have that. You can tell that I got the Vaccine on the red side. Anyhow, this is Guarneri, okay? And the reason you don't really see it that well is rather the fluting on the edge. Okay? This is the book from Peter Bidoff. Thank you, Peter. This is just a great book. I use it every day, and it's just a great book. And if you look at it, let's find a corner, a typical corner. Which one do you like the most, Isae or high fats? I know you like the high fats very much. Oh no, let's take the Isae. Let's take the Isae, okay? I made, this is now good. I made the Isae copy, and I made this one here. I made this copy here of this Isae, yeah? This is the book of Guarneri, okay? And this is my copy of the Isae. And I actually want to point out here this and this corner. And if you look at it at my homepage in my web shop, there are even details from the corners and of this fluting. And when this fluting, one is coming to each other, it's a very strange edge, because it's like two, how do you call it, the ones, water drains from the roof are meeting each other, and they come and they make a clear, strong line. Now, then years go by, dirt goes into these corners, which is difficult to clean out, and all this area becomes very dark brown. Only if you know where you have to look at, then you will find it, okay? And the corners which are super nice, very likely they have retouched them and readjusted them. So the Heifetz is another great violin, and when you look at it, you hardly can see. I can even change my glasses. Okay, you know already that with this one I can't see. Even on the Heifetz, you have difficulties to see, even with these glasses, and even if I put dew glasses, then, well, certainly you can see a little bit, but he didn't even make it that nice, okay? He just, and sometimes they don't even meet. It's just thrown in, okay? And now, this is one. And the other one is good old Antonio Stradivari. On this signed and perforated shape, signed a little bit here, halfway a short line, with a small tool which is similar like a piece of wood with a, like a, oops, here it is, with a tool like this, which is a screw, and you can adjust it, and you just make it like 2 millimeters, halfway of these 4 millimeters. You sign here, and then you make the fluting, right? And Stradivari, his fluting here made very soft going in, so in order that you can even clean this area, so you see very strong this corner. So since you see the corners of Stradivari like served on a very nice surface, I will show you here. I took the violin from Anna Arietti, for instance, which is very nice. It's even very modern, varnished and everything. So Stradivari was probably under this pressure of making it even nicer. He more or less, it's now not correct, from here on he moved a little bit this line, a little bit over there, but he moved this line, hold on, tack, tack, a little bit like this. So I'm really trying to do my best to make a nice Stradivari corner. And then here, this corner, he rounded it a little bit. Okay? Slightly, slightly. And move this a little bit more out. This is the main issue, the main difference between the Guarneri and the Stradivari. Now, okay, you're correct, it's not very nice to compare it, because I was really forcing myself much better here on this one than on the Guarneri corner. But if you go into the book, even most of the Guarneri corners are not that beautiful than this one, and Stradivari corners are super clean and super nice. Just have here one of these books from Joost Töne und Jaan Rührmann. And here, if you see a corner from Stradivari, I would say, well, this one is very great here, but I would like to have it even nicer shown to you. Ooh, here, nicer than this one. Golden Bell is the violin. So you can see very nice how this line is definitely not the line which has been signed with a purfling cutter, but but actually has been retouched slightly. Now I would take the lower corner definitely on this violin as the idle corner to be to show and how he cut this nice corner, yeah. And this is just a very nice example. Now on our instruments on my web page, if you see now a Stradivari model like the one which made Anna Arietti, it was a very nice violin. She participated with this instrument in the competition of the Triennale. She made her best to make very nice corners. Now by looking at them, I would say she adjusted a little bit too much out here, and if you take away too much, then here this area of the white becomes too large, okay? Now, a typical sign for instruments which come from, let's say, Romania, they cut these corners far too long and they make them both equal, so then this area here is too big. It's actually, a nice corner is made that the channel is cut in a way that the C is bent in the very last moment and is attached to this nice shape, okay? Now the reason you don't see all these like this very often is that most Guarneri corners are actually a hybrid of Stradivari and Guarneri. They take the outline of a Guarneri and then they put a thin, smaller purfling as Guarneri used. Stradivari used a larger white, but then they use a very thin white for the Guarneri. That's all fine. And then actually they make the corners just like a Stradivari, and even the fluting they make just like a Stradivari. And I would say this is the biggest mistake by most people who make a Guarneri, and by all the Guarneri models which you probably see around the world. And so I think it's a good way to clean up your eyes a little bit and watch in my online shop, or if you have the Guarneri book, then watch two original Guarneris and compare it. What is the difference between Guarneri and Stradivari? And I hope that there are a few makers watching this video, and from now on they start to make the Guarneri channel, the fluting and the burfling in a correct Guarneri way, and leave Stradivari his style and make the Guarneri style. Okay, I hope you learned something today. It doesn't really influence the sound at all, but I think it's a very important detail which actually, if you are playing the violin, I think this is worth knowing, you know. So tell your friends, sign up, and there's much more news coming. Ciao, ciao!